Well, you mentioned the living. I think that's such a, big observation of nature. And I can't remember who said it, but I think it might have been Joel Salatin. Life wants to live. And, just going outside, even just right before we were recording this, and just looking at the grass and seeing all these tiny little bugs, the flies, these tiny little things, I don't even know what the hell they are. The gnats, all these different little microorganisms, they're just living and they're just there at all points. And I had this thought of, as humans, modern day humans, we often think that, we go into the grass, it's just us and, the grass and the trees, but there's so many different layers to life. And like you said, going out and hiking, going out and camping, reconnecting with life, I think allows me and allows a lot of people to really remember, wow, I haven't been living. I haven't been experiencing the full capacity of life, experience all the depths and the layers of life. And I think that's where, watching you, like you said, expressing yourself physically, as I said in the beginning, I drew a lot of inspiration on the path of running. And I had this realization that, I've always said, oh, I'm not a runner. I don't like running. And I had this thought the other day. I was like, I think that thought might be bullshit. I think that might just be bullshit, that I've just been, conditioning myself, my own beliefs, saying I don't like running, all these different excuses really. And then recognizing, like, when I run, I actually like it. I just don't like the thought of running because I've told myself I don't like running.
It's a
And
story.
it's a story. It
Yeah,
is absolutely a story. And, it was reminding me that, you know, we want to do more human things. And running is a human thing. Running is a very human thing. So I'd love to have you just dive into obstacle course races, running, which I think are very much living and also just kind of inherent to the human nature. So what kind of got you interested in that? And how would you recommend, people kind of take the first steps into experimenting with those avenues?
yeah. Um, I was thinking about like I was thinking about my mom a second ago, and she used to tell me that I always used to love leaping and falling on the ground as a kid. Just anywhere I could just run, jump, and just land and roll and laugh, and I'd get up and do it again. Play in the creeks, playing sports with the neighborhood kids and whatnot. And I've always been drawn to outdoors. I've always been a high energy kid, right? Played soccer my whole life, really, but my formative years were all soccer, 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 right? Love the game. I watched the Champions League final at the retreat in the, halfway middle of through ceremony. It was a beautiful thing. Go Chelsea, winners, champions. Got into powerlifting in college, like really seriously, and ended up putting on about 50 pounds, dove into it for 4 straight years, and because of that, really expanded my interest in movement and in nutrition and in how to better oneself physically, right? Before it was about soccer, it was about the game. Like I'd run, but I didn't really, like just go run laps, go run sprints. Like there was no concept of programming or, anything like that, right? Go run, get better, play better soccer. Cool. Right. And then powerlifting. And then later on I was a strength and conditioning coach for about a year at the University of Richmond. Worked with football, men's soccer, women's soccer, a little bit of field hockey, a little bit of lacrosse. Got to really learn how to put a program together from a macro level, right? In that same time frame, I fell out of love with exercise. I fell out of love with the gym. I was spending so much time in the gym, helping other people in the gym, left that gym, went to my side job at a gym. Then I wanted to work out, and then I didn't want to work out, right? But to tie it in here, I left my financial planning career I left my coaching career to start a financial planning career, which I did for about 8 years. And I was in the process of building that career in the out of college and as a 23-year-old kid, like really go-getter, like grinding, dude. So exercise in the gym for the first time in a long time fell by the wayside, right? As I was, working on the job, building the network, had the partner, et cetera, et cetera. kept a lot of that weight that I had gained, and it started to, maybe the ratios started swapping the other direction. I was going to a couple too many happy hours a week. Let's put it to you that way. I was living with a couple guys at the time, and a buddy of mine said, "Hey, come in here. I see something, or I found something on YouTube you guys might like." And I remember it's like 2013. It's summer. We're tossing the football. I'm fat now, bro. Like fat. And we watched this video of a Spartan race, and Spartan is just a brand of obstacle course racing. It's like Tough Mudder or Savage Race or Rugged Maniac or a lot of these, right? It's the brand that I believe, and that many people believe, is the gold standard of obstacle course racing. But obstacle course racing is a race typically in natural terrain, wherever the features are of the location that one's in, and it encompasses running, jumping, sometimes throwing something, sometimes swimming, sometimes a lot of like monkey bars or ropes, or carrying buckets or sandbags, or just all kinds of outdoor stuff, right? And I ended up signing up with one buddy for a race in 2013 that was about 7 miles, and it was 2 hours away from Richmond. So we're like, yeah, we'll do this, no problem. Up and down a ski like slope. We're at a ski resort, right? Like Wintergreen. And the race totally and completely kicked my ass, like utterly and savagely destroyed me, right? And I remember bitching to my buddy Pat, who ran it with me, and we're like going up and down the hills, and this was a really vivid moment and vivid memory of mine. But we're going up and down these hills just over and over and over again, and my legs are cramping, like everything's cramping. I'm fucking hot, like the whole 9 yards, right? And I turn a corner, and I just finished saying to Pat, God, my legs hurt. And I turn a corner, and we see a group of maybe 15 or 20 people, full military fatigues, full military gas masks, and it's Operation Enduring Warrior, which is an organization that helps wounded soldiers and soldiers who have lost limbs specifically, adaptive athletes get back into the world of athletics, right? And let's say there's 15 people there, right? So there should be 30 legs. Like there might have only been 20 total legs, and so if there's 15 people, there should be 30 arms. Like, well, there's probably 15 or 20 arms, right, collectively. And that shut me up real quick, and it put a lot of things into perspective for me really quickly. Spartan has a tagline, or had a tagline for a long time, of "You'll know at the finish line," right? So I finished that race, with a totally different attitude than when I, 30 minutes earlier when I saw that. Totally forgot over the course of the next year, like how difficult the race was, but it started to get my motivation going a little bit, right? Did that same race again the next year, and did a little better. And I thought to myself, like, well, holy moly, if I actually try, I start to get fit again, start to try to, figure this thing out, I could potentially get good at this. And so I ran like 3 races in 2015 and 6 races in 2016 and 12 races in 2017, and just snowballed. Started to really hone in on various aspects of obstacle course racing, or running, or, loaded carries, or whatever it may be, and realize that if you put in the effort in these various areas, then good things happen. So, like running specifically, I'm curious to hear your experiences with running lately. But running is a great example of that. Like, to your point, returning back to being human. Man.